Okay, so it's time for class. We're gonna start. Today we're gonna talk about the language structure. So let's see, and hopefully, well, not just hopefully, you are going to be participating. The difference from last week will be that I'm not expecting people who is like just quiet. You had a question last week about why were your classmates just quiet? And the question asks you also, what will you do? That question asks you to be in that part, in the same space, in the same spot as your classmates, and to be able to participate. Okay, so in today's class, since we're talking about the language structure, you are going to be required to say something. For some parts that we're going to have examples, I might be using some resources for little children, but that's okay. I mean, don't feel bad or don't feel like I'm treating you like you are children. The thing here is that we, as Spanish native speakers, we are not English native speakers, we're Spanish native speakers. So we have the tendency to pronounce words in a different way. And so that's the structure that we're going to be talking today. Today we're going to talk about the language structure, but we're going to take some time to practice the pronunciation and in a different way. Actually, let me just tell you a little story. I found out that why we have a problem when we're pronouncing words and being Spanish speakers, pronouncing words in English. I want to tell you this. I saw my nephew. My nephew is 4 years old. He's 4 years old, and he starts learning the sounds, the phonemes, and I saw how he was learning. He's learning English, of course. Well, he was born in the States. So I was surprised to see, and it wondered me. It wondered in my brain so much that I said, hey, if I had learned English like that, I wouldn't have had so many problems when pronouncing words. And seeing my students mispronouncing the words, trying to pronounce them like Spanish, it made me wonder a lot. So while I was wondering, I started looking for some more information. And yes, I found some information that is useful for us, and you're gonna see it here today. So today we're gonna touch just a little bit of the topic, and next week we're gonna continue with some other parts. But yes, today we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna practice sounds, and yes, like a little kid, but that will help us a lot. Let me just tell you, it's going to be fun. Well, at least it's fun for me, so I'm hoping that it's going to be fun for you too. All right. So you are seeing a PowerPoint presentation right now. It says language structure, and well, it's part of this class. So that's what you were able to see. So here's the wonder of a language, and the simplest part of it is language universals. All languages have structures, and a language is dynamic, and a language is complex. So here's the thing. Every language has structures, and we cannot just go and write the language in just whatever way we want. Structure, it's most of the time refer to grammar. And even though we may not like grammar, it's part of the language and it makes sense. For example, every language has the past tense. And every language has a way to say the future tense and the present tense. If we don't have that, we might just get confused in which time are we speaking right now. So yes, all languages, every language. It doesn't matter if you're talking about Mandarin, or commonly known as Chinese, or if you're talking about Japanese, or the English language, the Spanish language, Portuguese, and so on. Every language has a structure. It's dynamic. Why? Well, that's one of the interesting things of a language. It's evolving, it changes, it moves, and it keeps on changing. And yes, it's complex. Yeah, every language has its complexity. Of course, it has an alphabet. And some languages, they keep on building those letters and more words. So it's like the complexity of a language on itself, it's really big. But let's just take the structure in not such a complex way. Here's the thing. When a language has a structure, we use a finite set of sounds, which are gestures that are combined to form meaningful elements of words. Phonemes, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. Well, we're actually talking right now. Phonemes. All grammars contain rules for the formation of words and sentences of definite types, kind and similar grammatical categories. For example, nouns and verbs. Every language with its grammar has this, the nouns and verbs. Every language has a way of referring to past time, the ability to negate. Yeah, every language has to learn that. If you want to say no, how do you say no? Yes. Then also, it's not just about negating, ways to form questions, to issue commands, and more. Semantic universals such as male or female, these are found in every language in the world. So with that knowledge, just explaining about the dynamic of it, and that's why I chose to show an airplane, because when we learn physics and when we learn dynamics, we know that dynamics means movement. It keeps moving, and so that's what it means. The language changes over time. For example, Spanish, the way that we speak right now is not the same as 100 years ago. And it's not the same as we speak it here in Mexico as how they speak it in Chile or in Argentina or in Spain. Because it's also part of a culture. That's why whenever we're learning a language, we also learn part of the culture. Pronunciation, the phonology. Pronunciation changes. For example, here in English, the pronunciation of the K, the K, the sound of K, is no longer pronounced in a word like night. It's a night, but you don't say night. And I have seen that mistake with some people trying to pronounce knowledge when they're trying to say knowledge. Nah, it's knowledge. But you need to learn about phonemes. The W, for example, in the word of right, you don't really say right, you say right. But how do we understand all of this? We have to practice phonemes, and we also learn about it. How do we learn about it? It's not just about speaking, it's also about reading. We need to get used to read also. And how do we know the difference when one word sounds very similar to another? How do we know how it is written? Well, it's the context of what you are saying. That makes the difference. Semantics change over time and words disappear. Some words are no longer used. Words expand their meanings as with geek and mouse. I mean, come on, you already know that word, a mouse. It was an animal, and now we use it as a computer tool. You work on that from the last assignment, right? Yeah, just a reminder of that. Some languages change more than others. Yeah, that's the truth. When the dynamics of a language keeps on moving too much, it will be changing faster. The language is complex. This is just to explain a little more about this. It is normal for humans, no matter their native language, to be able to communicate a wide range of concepts, both concrete and abstract. So yes, you are already able to communicate a big, super big range of concepts in Spanish. But here the thing is, and that's why we're taking this type of class, the English Conversation Seminar, so you can have more ways to communicate. All languages are equally complex, capable of expressing a wide range of ideas and expandable to include new words for new concepts. Even though language is complicated, yes, we know. Every healthy child, this is an example thing, regardless of racial, geographical, social, or economic heritage, is capable of learning any language to which he or she is exposed. It is known that a child of only 5 years old is capable of learning any language to which he or she is exposed. By 5 years, every person is, pardon me, is able to communicate and it's able to say a wide variety of words, and it's able to communicate, and it's able to even use in times, complicated things as times when you are putting the verb in the correct time. Just watch. If you have a brother or sister that is 4, 5, 6 years old, if it's not a brother or sister, it might be a nephew, it might be the child of your friend, your godson, who knows. But just watch them, and they are able to speak very, very good without even knowing grammar. They already have it in their brains. So this is the thing. We need to know that for English too. The phonology, we're getting there. So the sound patterns of language, the sound. Phonology is the study of the sound system of a language. So that's the definition here. And take it from a book from Haleman. Phonetics is the science of the production, reception, analysis, transcription, and classification of speech sounds. And it's also the relation of speech sounds to the total language process. Isn't that interesting? Phonetics is the relation of speech sounds to the total language process. So one of the most important things of a language is the way you speak, the way you make the sounds. Because in order to be able to listen to it, you need to be able to speak. You need to be able to understand how it is spoken. You need to be able to do that. So here is an example, and just as a question, now you can open your microphones. Which of the followings are possible English words in which will be impossible because they do not fit the English sound system? Who wants to guess? I'm giving you a hint. 2 of them are not possible for English. Just think about it. Try to pronounce them. 2 of them are not part of the English word. Open your mics. This is one of those times where you can participate. Think about it. Like, okay, I'm gonna be helping you here. Let's try to say it as monic. Catalogo. Del. Does it take? Which of those 4 words do you think that may not be possible for it to be an English word? If it is very, very, very hard to pronounce, that might be the word. Think about it. You want to try to guess, Connie?
No, thank you.
Just, it doesn't matter if you're wrong. Just try to say anything. It doesn't really matter if you're wrong. It is, hey, try to say it. Just try to read it like, while you're watching the 4 of them, try to say, maybe Monic is not? Because it's like, it's Monic? Like, what is the sound of that? But then you go to the second word, it's like, cataloga. I can pronounce that one. And then you go to the third one, and it's like, do? Does it sound correct? And then you go to the last one, and it's like, pathetic. So it's like, oh, that sounds something. So this is the time when you're like, maybe I had trouble pronouncing 2 of them. Which one?
The first one.
The first one? Yes, you're correct. You're correct. The sound doesn't make any sense of it. It's like, it's an S next to a T, which is possible, but then after the ST, you have a G. And it's like, how do you have a G in the middle of it, of T and M? It's like, what? It's really hard. Okay, good, Connie. And what is the second word? That it's hard for it. It will be very hard for it to be part of the sound system in English. Asael, you're trying to guess here. Go for it.
It's the second.
The second, no.
It's the third one.
The third one, Del. Yes. Okay, so you have there, not Monica or Indel. They contain non-English-like consonant clusters. So it's something that you learn to understand with time. These type of words, you will know how to identify them when you start reading, when you start not just practicing the simple English, but you need to get the habit of reading. This is an advice for all of you. If you wanna get better in this, how can you get better in pronouncing? Yes, as crazy as it sounds, you need to get your brain to be able to know the words, to be able to practice them. But that's not everything. Thanks to the internet and thanks to lots of English professors and teachers and that they are in the world, we have a lot of information that we can use to practice this. So if you're one of those people that don't like to read a lot, but you like to play games, I'm gonna show you a few games that you can go and use them, and it will help you understand this a little more. Good. So there's things like this. I put this example also because I thought that it was very, very important to show you that there are words that are new, like the dynamics of the language, like brand names that most of the time they don't mean anything. but it's only for the owners or the stakeholders for that brand, but it's part of the language once it comes. For example, products are often brought to the market with names that use phonemic enhancement. So it makes the phonemes bigger. The gasoline company and product EXO is not like ESSO with the sound of ESO. It actually sounds like Exxon. ESO was renamed like Exxon in 1973 in part because test marketing showed that people responded more strongly to the local sound of the double X than the double S. So since people started calling it EXO, they changed the brand. So it wouldn't just sound like EXO, they changed it. So it used to just look like ESSO. And then it ended up being like EXO. Interesting. Changes that people make because of the language. So finally, we're there. Phonemes. Phonemes. I'm talking about something different. Phonemes. Phonemes. We're going to talk about how the different sounds in different words. And we're going to take a look at some examples. Phonemes are the individual sounds in a language, the distinctive units that make a difference when sounds distinguish words. For example, here in English, the initial consonant sounds like P, P, and B are the only difference between the words park and bark, and thus are phonemes. So the sound, here's the thing. We had the tendency to learn English when we were saying, like Spanish, let's remember the ABC. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T, U, V, W, X, and Y, and Z. So that's the ABC. But the sound in the words are different. So here's the thing. The letter P makes a sound at the beginning of a word like P, P. And the letter B makes a sound at the beginning of the word like B. So that's what we need to understand from that phoneme, that we need to remember when we are speaking. So here's the thing. It's not just about the knowledge of the ABCs, like the sound that I'm making. P, 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 like that. It's not like P. So we don't say pirk, we say park. Right? We don't say birk, we say bark. So that's the thing. That's what we need to remember phonemes. And that's why we need to study phonemes. The number of phonemes in a language ranges between 20 and 50. That's the great news. It's not thousands of different phonemes. It's only very few. English has a high average count from 34 to 45, depending on the dialect, from where was it from, the word. So it's only about 34 to 45 phonemes. So 34 to 45. Isn't that awesome? It's not that hard to learn this. For example, Hawaiian, in contrast, has one of the lowest phoneme counts with 8 consonants and 10 vowels. That's what it was referred to the dialect. There is a dialect, it uses the English language, but it says that, you know, that depending on the side of the world, the language gets mixed with the native languages from the land. For example, over there in Hawaii, there are a lot of immigrants from the Philippines, for example, and there's a mixture of the language. So they do have just very few phonemes. the way they do speak English, which is really very nice, it has only about 8 for consonants. Remember that consonants are like this, like P, like B, like C, D, F, all of those. And 10 for the vowels, 10 different sounds for the vowels. The vowels A, E, I, O, U, right? All right, so it's supposed to not be very complicated. Let's keep on learning. This is starting getting interesting, hopefully. Over here, you have an example of this. Phonemes in English, vowels and consonants. Let's take a look at this. We have the example for the vowels on the left column, and in the middle we have for consonants. And we have examples on how you use the phoneme and next to them in those columns on the right. So let's see, for example, let's start doing this. This is getting to be very interesting. I'm loving it. Hopefully you're loving it too. I don't know. Okay, let me just move this because it's gonna not be helpful. So let's see. For example, let's go to the first one, the first of them. So how do you pronounce that phoneme? It's not. It's not what? Is it A? Is it A?
A.
Yes. When you see this phoneme, it is the actual sound that comes from the ABC. What for us will be for native Spanish speakers will be like
Able.
something like this, right? Like A. So how do we pronounce it in here? Way, wake, pain,
Pain.
tray.
Pain.
Good, thank you for participating. So that's the phoneme. And the interesting part of this is whenever you started learning English, for those of you who were just living in Mexico, we had in our schools, in middle school, when you started secondary or in middle school, you were asked to bring a dictionary, Spanish, English, which I don't like them, but because you tend to translate everything. Every dictionary has the phoneme in every word. But we have the tendency to just be blind to the phonemes and just write down the significance or the meaning of the word because we were translating. Nobody told us to take a look at the phoneme. But that was a big mistake. That's what I think. Because we could have learned since then. But it's never too late. It's never late. So here we are, right? Okay, so the second phoneme, how do we pronounce this one? Ah. It's the sound of ah. Can you say it? Ah. 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 Yeah, don't laugh. You need to practice. So for example, hot, hot, hot. So that's the sound. Ah, pat. Then we have,
Pat.
you see the tendency, whenever you see the capital letter, it's like the sound from the ABC. So this is E, like for us Spanish speakers will be the I, E. All right, E. So it's like, in the example, E, then B.
Beat.
Please.
It's easy, isn't it? I
Yes,
told
it
you
is.
it was gonna be fun. And we need to go through all of this because we need to practice in order to be able to pronounce the words and to be able to understand the phonemes and how are they used. We need to see as many examples as we can. And then eventually our brain is going to connect to all of the words. And whenever we see a word, we're going to be able to pronounce them correctly. All right? Believe me, it happens. So with the letter E, the small letter E, how do we pronounce it? It's not capital anymore, so it shouldn't be the sound of E. So now the sound is E.
E.
Isn't it fun? It's like Spanish. E. So in here, in between two consonants, when you see the letter E, the sound will be E, like set, set,
Set.
set. If we have a vowel next to it, like here, like in beat, the sound is E, beat. If there's another vowel next to it, bleed, the sound is different. But if it is in between two consonants, like T and S, the sound is set. Isn't it fun? For example, if we were to say this word, bet.
Bet.
And then we have this, beat, because there was a vowel here. This is bet, this is beat. I bet you that you can understand this. You see how it sounds? All right, let me just clean this up because there's starting to be a big mess. Clear all drawings. Okay, good. So let's go to capital I. If it's capital, again, the sound is like the ABCs. If the phoneme tells you a capital, it's like I. It's like if someone kicks you. If your brother or your sister or your mother comes and gives you just a little hit, it's like, I. Yes, that's the sound. I. Not too big, like I. No, it's I. Make it softer. So you wouldn't be like when your mother comes with a chancla and hits you. You already know what I'm talking about. You will be like, ah! No, that's exaggerating, okay? So this should be like, I. Okay, so that's the sound. So it's about practicing this. I. Tie. And also here you have that sound. By.
Bye.
I, tie, by. And if we have the little I, so it's like Spanish. E. If. Hin. But if you see the hints with vowels, whenever it is in between consonants, the sound goes like this. Like Spanish. It should be easier for us. But you need to take a look on how the word is built. And whenever the vowel that we're talking about, it's alone or next to another vowel, then the sound changes. To the ABC sounds, the ABCs. Like I, tie, buy, wake, pain, tray, and so on. So you see, there is a hint for everything. You can just associate things. Learn to associate and you're gonna learn the language and you're gonna learn how to pronounce it in the correct way. Let's go and see the O sound.
O.
No, 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 no. Moat. Stone.
Stone.
Here is one of the different things. It is in between two consonants. So that's why I'm saying there's always exceptions to the rule. There is gonna be so many words that are not going to go in the same category and the pronunciation goes like that. So a good thing to do is like always have a dictionary, always look for the word, look at the phonemes and try to practice it, try to pronounce it. The O sound, O, O, ho. You. It's not you, it's yes or no? How do you pronounce this? You. Future? Tuesday? The U here is different. It's not like, oh, it's cup, dumb. It's not coop or doom. No, it's cup, dumb. The sound of the O, it's like you. To, ru, shu, put. But there's also the other sound like thu, put. O-I, hoy, boy. O-U, put. How, mouse, put. A-W is saw, call, caught, A-R, it will be R, far. Let's see those of the consonants with B. Like I told you, it's B, B, B. That's the sound, B, bit, habit, rab, B, B, B. K, the sound is K, K, cake, naked, luck. So that's the sound K, K. D, the sound will be D, 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 do, stutter, wed, D. With the F is F, F, far, offer, half. And whenever you have PH, the sound is F, funny. G, the sound is G, G. It's not like Spanish here. This is a tendency to make a big difference. When you're reading this, you're saying like, H. No, there's no sound with G in English like that, no. It's G, G, a very soft sound, G. Gone, zig, beg. It's like G, G. With H, is that sound like it sounded similar like Spanish with the G, with the H. But not as strong as G. No. It's more soft. Ha, 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 ha. Like head. Head. Behold. Yes? Are you following? Hopefully. Yes. J has a sound like J, J, J. Jam. The sound of the G here, it's like this one, J. Tragic. Stage. Ledge. The G, G. The sound of L, which is L, light, willow, well, L, that's the sound. The sound of M will be This is so good because this is the same as Spanish. Mine, dim, The sound of N is the same as Spanish. N,
No.
known, fun,
Phone.
lin.
Line.
P. It doesn't sound like P, but it sounds like puh, puh, puh. Push, tapu, step. The sound of K, K, that will be found as KW, K, like quiet. K, quiet. The sound that gives you the R, not as strong as Spanish, like no, there's no sound like that in English. It's only rope, Larry, bar. So for us, Spanish speakers will say Larry. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. There's no Larry. There's no such thing. It's Larry. Is it Larry? Exactly. Good. So the sound for S is Z, this, sleep, hustle, miss, this, simple. It's not as strong as the Z, okay? So it's only Z, T, tip, after, but, t. So when you have, oh, let me just move this one a little up here. So V, the sound is V, B. It's a little different from B. Remember your lips, B, the first one that we saw at the beginning here, B, and this one is V, V. You use your teeth, your top teeth, and your lower lip, V, V. And then we have B, over, gave. Okay, so it's different. Then the sound with the W is like, ooh, like wag, away. It's like a U, but in Spanish, which is actually good that we are Spanish speakers because the phonemes are not that hard for us. It's very easy for us, but we need to understand how they are mixed in. The sound of x or gz is like stops. Exit. It's like that sound of like x. The sound that gives us the Y is y, y. It's like Spanish, like ye, y. Good. You're yet. Isn't it good? Then this one is stronger than this one here. Z is like z, z. You put your tongue below your top teeth, very close to them. Z, z. So that's zip. So that's the example. Zip. Noisy. Noisy. Buzz. Good. Then this one is also very good for us Spanish speakers because it sounds like she. Shout. Shout out. Lotion.
Wash.
Wash. So whenever we see a word like it finishes like that, it's shone. Shone. And I always have this joke in here. It's like underwear, shones. So remember that pronunciation, Sean. HW, whenever you see this phoneme, it's like only the W or the U sound, like here. What? So whenever you see that H next to another in a phoneme, next to another, either a vowel or a consonant, probably a consonant, the sound of the H doesn't exist. All right, so it's not the same as here, like head, behold, no. Here you have, yes, the also mute sound. What? What? Who? Whom? And so on. And then this CH is sort of like similar to the SH, but it's softer. For us, native Spanish speakers from the north of Mexico who speak the she, like Porsche, for us, that sound is this one, the SH. The CH is softer. So this is not apt for northern Mexicans because for us, everything is very strong. But this one, CH, should be softer, like shop, pitch. Shop, pitch. So that's what I'm saying. Here, this one, like shout, is stronger, shout. And this one is shop, is softer. TH, another interesting one. Let me just clear all the drawings. TH, the phoneme for this one, you need to put your tongue in between your two set of teeth, in between them, like this. Very funny, I know, but it's the way it is. You put it over there in between, and then you make that sound. It doesn't matter if you are spilling a lot of saliva, you are only in front of your own phone or your own computer. So you're not gonna give coronavirus to anyone because we're just practicing here. And the best way to practice is, it might be in front of a camera or in front of a mirror where you can see yourself if you are doing it correctly. Push it, push the sound. Thing. South side, north, thing, south side, north, south, and so on. Many examples. And you also have it here that you can find another way to put that one. So it's that, mother, tooth. We have another phoneme, the NG. That phoneme will be ng, wing, running. So it's kind of like one next to the other. You have kind of contract the sound. Ng. And finally, the H. You have a sound like over here, collision, pleasure. It's a soft Z. That's why in genre, over here, you have like the sound. Genre. You make it over here. Genre. Ra. Ra. Over there, you make the sound. Genre. Collision. Pleasure. Okay, so we're gonna clear this. You can just go to this back again and practice whenever you want. I think we are now going to practice with one of the web pages. English phonemes not found in other languages. Yes, no, they're not part of other languages. Some phonemes in English do not exist in certain other languages. English learners from these backgrounds might experience difficulty in hearing and producing these sounds. And this is why in Spanish, we have a problem with saying those. Because we are part of those. Oh, oops. So you have, I was trying to draw something without the pen, so I can't. So they don't exist in Japanese and they don't exist in Spanish. The sounds are different. Like we were practicing like the, sh. the j. So we need to keep practicing. How do we do that? We go to the next slide. Yeah, this is more explanation. I'm just gonna skip this one and this too because it's the same. We were practicing with all of those in the tables. You can just go back to the slide whenever you want. Here is the thing. We need to raise awareness. Awareness is about knowing. Let people know about phonemics. As the children learn the language, they acquire phonological awareness. And here is why I was telling you, when a child is 5 years old, even when it's 3 years old, they start speaking very well. They acquire phonological awareness in the process of separating the oral sound stream they encounter into syllables and words. Literacy development builds on this ability. Literacy development. So we need to become more literate. We need to read. We need to practice. We need to look for information. Helping young readers connect sounds to written symbols. So phonemic awareness is the ability to use the sound symbol connection to separate sentences into words and words into syllables in order to hear, identify, and manipulate the individual phonemes within spoken words. This is not an easy task with 10 to 20 phonemes articulated per second in normal speech. It's not easy, but we can get it. We can do it. Phonemic awareness tasks help students hear and isolate individual phonemes. This is the basics of phonics instruction. So, who needs phonemic awareness training? Who does need phonemic awareness training? You, me, everyone. You as adults, look at this. Research tells us that adult non-readers, like you, have almost no phonemic awareness, and adult beginning readers also have phonemic awareness deficiencies. Even intermediate AVE readers, like those who read but intermediate levels, may have somewhat limited phonemic awareness. Research also suggests that adults at the lowest literacy levels may profit from direct instruction to build phonemic awareness. What does this mean? Even if you have no real education, but if you know the phonemics of a language, if you don't have a title, but you know a language very well, you can make profit from it. Learners of the next level, those with some independent reading ability may also benefit, of course. So phonemic awareness training is for everyone. That's what I said. It's for you, it's for me, it's for everyone. On the other hand, the research on phonemic awareness deficiencies may not apply to English as a second language students, adults who can read English. You shouldn't assume that these non-readers have phonemic awareness deficiencies. Other factors, including a limited English vocabulary, are more likely. So it means some of you may already have the awareness on how to pronounce those phonemes, and some of you may not. So we're gonna do the practice here. We need to go to that web page. I already set it up, so I'm gonna share it in a different screen. So let's see. Where is my screen? Here, wait, no. This one. Let's practice a little more of the phonemes. So you can just go back whenever you want to this page. It's on the PowerPoint presentation, and it's already on your Canvas platform. So you can just go and practice there. Let me check if it's supposed to have the sound ready. So this is the fun part of this. On this web page, I found this phonemic chart. It helps us practicing. For example, here it has the example sheep, the way it sounds. E. So just let me know if you're listening to what I'm listening. Can you hear the sound of E? Can everybody hear the sound?
Yes, I can.
Ah,
Yes.
good. Thanks, Maria. Eh, like she. You see? Ooh, good. Ooh, shoot. Look at this sound. Yeah. Yeah. So it's also given us example when we have diphthongs and monophthongs. Constants, for example, when we see, let me see, the Z, Z. Aha, look at that one. The K, K, car, G, go, wait, L, love, V, video, B, boat, P, P, uh, bird. So you see, it's not beard, it's bird. So you always say, it's like the same as girl. It's not girl, it's girl, bird. So that's the sound. Tisha. Ah, cat. Up. Far. On. Oh, let's see the diphthongs. Air. Hair. I. My. Oi. Boy. Here. And so on. So this is a very fun phonemic chart. I found it really nice, really good because you can hear it and there is examples that you can repeat after it. So I strongly recommend that you go back to this one and practice with this one, okay? So it's gonna be there and you can just go back to it. So yeah, I was here showing the PowerPoint presentation. And next one, we have a game. Let's just play. So we can just click on it, but since I'm using sharing screens, so I'm gonna switch screens and I'm going to share it from here. This one. It's a short game. We're gonna play a game here. Phonics games, these are, and like I said before, these are games for little kids. But since we are learning the language, don't feel like, this is silly, ha, ha. No, that's fine. It's perfectly fine because if you want to really learn the language, if you want to really practice and truly speak the language, there's no such thing as like, this is only for little kids. I'm already an adult. I'm not gonna see this one. Hey, guess what? It's easier to learn if you start watching things and playing games like these ones that are for little kids. So I'm gonna show you this. This is a little game. It's called the vowel team spelling. Can you see it the same way?
Yes, sure.
Yes, I can see.
So it tells us make the word. It's a school bus and it needs to cross, but there's no bridges. So we need to make the word peach. So
E-I.
E. E-I.
E-A. Peach.
A.
There's no I. Woo! So it keeps on going. There's another little animal that went in. There's no bridge. Train with the sound. So you see the sound, then you have the vowels. What's the order? Train. What sound?
A-I.
A,
I.
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 Train. Train. It keeps on going. There's another little animal there. It's getting in. It's getting on the bus. Oh, another one. Leaf. What makes the sound leaf? How do we make this? Which vowel should go first? Leaf. Leaf.
E, I.
A. Leaf. Oh, there's another bridge. Woo, keeps on going. Yeah, we got to school. We are a master. Great. So, isn't it fun? Yes, it's fun. It really is. This webpage asks you to sign up, but it's for free. Well, at least it was for me. It asked me, it gives you different options, but then you register with your Gmail account or your Universidad account, and then you can practice as many times as you want. It has several games. I closed it, but I'm going back to it. So if we go back, for example, you see blending sounds, spellings, prefixes, vowels, lots and lots of games. And this is only one of them. You have here syllabs, letter sounds, syllables, several games that you can play, and you can just go back to it whenever you want and practice some more. Okay, so it's over there in the PowerPoint presentation for you to practice. We're almost there. We are finishing, almost finishing. So let me just show you something else. So that was about playing with the sounds, and it's fun. So that's how you're supposed to see a language. A language is a fun way, and it's also great. It's a great tool that makes you communicate, and it helps you communicate with the rest of the world, because we're talking about English, not just any language. And here's the thing. For next week, we're gonna not just talk about phonemes or phonemics. Next week, we're gonna talk about stress. And I'm talking about the stress of the word, not the stress of, oh, I'm so stressed because I'm tired. I have lots of work. No. It's not that type of stress. Stress is what we call in Spanish acento. The stress of the word makes it very different. And for example, I'm just giving you examples, and next week we're gonna talk about them. Like desert is a dry region. You see the stress mark at the beginning, desert. And dessert is a sweet food. Invalid is a person with long-term debilitating illness, or invalid is something that is null, void, is an adjective. So here we are using the stress mark, but you already know that in English, there is no accentuation mark to put it over there. But whenever you are learning stress, you have to use the mark so you can remember where or on which syllable the word is stress. So we're gonna talk about that next week. Homework. Yeah. Yes, this is the time that we talk about the homework. You're gonna go to two homeworks. You already have the set dates for in your Canvas platform. The first homework is about going to a web page. There is a song. I'm gonna show it to you, and then you have to practice it. You're gonna use your name, and then you're going to record it. You're going to record it in your phones or whatever record machine, or in Canvas even, you can use that, and you can ascend. We're gonna go over that one. And the second homework is, there is 4 set of sheets for exercises. This is all individual homework. This is just individual. You're gonna go and check those for the sound of C, D, H, and V. And it's provided there through these links, and you're just going to submit that one. Over here, I use all of the references that I use for this presentation. I put them there also. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go and show you the first web page for the first homework, and then the second one. So I'm explaining the homework. Pay attention, pay lots of attention here. I'm gonna just show you what that homework is. So you're going to go to this web page. So you're just going to click on that web page. It's going to take you here, Reading Rocket. So this is not just for reading. This practice actually is for the phonemic awareness, the assignment. You're going to scroll down the web page. If you want to practice something here, you can, of course. Like for example, here it's book. So you can practice the sound, book, walk. Yeah, you can just practice a lot. I'm giving you lots of information here so you can practice. But the actual homework, you need to scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. You're gonna look into this video, the silly name song building phonemic awareness. Let's take a look. It's very short. It talks about a song, and then you need to participate as the little children. You're gonna do the same as the little children that are in that classroom. Let's see. The sound T.
I can hear the video. Can hear the video.
What she's saying, for example, my name is Dinora, but if I put a T at the beginning, if I'm doing the same exercise, will be Tinora. And so on. If I ask Carmen, what will your name be? So that would be Carmen. Connie, Connie. Gilberto, that will be another one, a different one. Gilberto. Tana. And so on.
Nael.
Cadnael. How will you say your name with starting with a T? Yes, Connie, Tadnael. So that's what you're gonna do in the song. You're gonna use your name with the sound of T. So let's see, let's finish the video. It's a short video, and the song is what you're going to be recording. So let's continue watching it. Okay, so you're going to do it as the little kids, and you're going to sing the song. Yes. So our recommendation is to write it, to stop the video. So the video where you can see it. Stop the video somewhere like there, and then write it down in the classroom early in the morning Hear the children playing with the sounds. Change your name to start with two. Change your name to start with two. Name with two, name with two. What's your name? Shout it now. And then you say your name. And you're going to sing it the same way as they're singing. In the classroom, early in the morning, hear the children playing with the sounds. Change your name to start with T. Change your name with two to start with two. Name with two, name with two. What's your name? Shout it now, Tinora. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to record yourself. Let me advise you, please, please, please practice before you record yourself. Practice. Thank you. So that's one of the homeworks. That's the first homework. And the second one, like I said, the second homework, it will be, you have to go to, there's 4 practices. It's very simple. It's like for children also. So let me show you. You're gonna click on everyone and you are going to go and see these things. You can either print it out, you can make screenshots. There is someone saying
It's
something.
me, Carmen.
Carmen?
Me, Carmen.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
I have a question with the worksheet.
Yes.
The other activity. Okay. With the letter D.
With letter D?
Yeah.
This one?
Because they are all D.
Oh, yeah. But look at the instructions here. You're gonna say each picture word below. Like this one is the dog, kid, day, desk, bed, and lid. But if you heard the D sound at the beginning of the word, circle that first. So it gives you extra practice with those words on the right side. So it's not just dog, it's bad. It's not just duck, it's kid. So it gives you more words, but what you're gonna do is just circle the word over here. And which follows the picture, then circle the correct word and print it neatly in the space provided. So you can also write it again. That's what it's telling you about printing it. Write it here. Which of them is it? Is it dog or is it bad? It should be dog, right? So you write it down here, dog. Is it kid or is it duck? It's duck. You write it here. And while you're at it, you keep practicing. So it's 4 of them. You have one for C, one for D, one for H, and one for V. Woo. So while you are at it, you are practicing vocabulary and you're practicing phonemic. This is about phonemic awareness. I want you to pronounce them, even though you are writing something. My advice is for you to make the sound. So don't just say like, oh, it's here in this one. No. Say it. Leave, violin, vo, wave, nav, van, vacuum, macaf, test, vest, shave, base, hive, vice. Practice all of them. If you don't know how to pronounce them, there is such a nice thing on Google. You can say, for example, vacuum pronunciation. And it gives you this, and it also shows you how to do it. You can either click on the speaker over there or you can click on the picture. But listen to it. Vacuum. It shows you how to move your mouth. Vacuum, vacuum, vacuum. So my advice is to practice all of this If you don't know what the phoneme goes to it, just go to this place and practice the pronunciation. Yes? So that's about the homework. Very easy. It takes just a short period of time to complete, but there is also a lot of information of those web pages that I just gave you, so you can practice the language even more. So you can practice the sounds even more. Good. I hope you had fun today. It was very good and nice to see you all, as every week and every time that we see each other. Of course, there will be an extra assignment, the third one, the one about the class. I'm gonna upload the video, and once the video is uploaded, I'm going to ask you 2, 3, 4 questions. I don't know, that's depending on my mood about the class, what you heard here. Very simple way to earn some points when you're participating. Yes, good, good. So just wait for the video. I'll let you know when the video is uploaded, and so you can do that assignment. Good? Any questions? No, you're like,
Nope.
oh, that's great. Did you have fun? I hope that you had fun today. I'm really hoping that. And as the same as me, when I found out that, hey, we need to practice more of the sound, I thought about, well, let's go. And now that we have this class about the language structure, we can start with this sound. Okay, good. So again, I'm really glad to see you. Then I'll see you next time. Have fun, be careful, stay safe, stay at home.
You too.
Goodbye.